Welcome back to the Cleveland Way, day number 4. So I'm just leaving Saltburn behind. Goodbye Saltburn. Today marks the start of the coastal section. My end destination today is Whitby, just over 20 miles I think it is, I do believe. So I've been looking forward to the coastal section. I've not walked any of this path since the 2020 adventure. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, you were a little bit restricted because of COVID. So I didn't really kind of stop anywhere along the way. So I'm hoping to be able to explore some of these places as I weave in and out of the little villages today as I make my way down the coast. So the weather, well, it's nice at the moment. Not sure what to expect today because I saw two differing forecasts. I think the Met Office said it was going to rain, and then the forecast you get on the iPhone said it was going to be nice today. So we'll probably get a bit of both. Anyway, the weather doesn't matter. It's all about the adventure. Let's see what the day brings, shall we? Right, let's talk accommodation. Last night, the Brockley Hall Hotel. I wasn't sure what to make of the place when I walked in because it had a bit of a goth type feel to it. Everywhere was quite dark. However, I've got to say, the food was absolutely fantastic. I did have to steer clear of the a la carte menu though, because some of the prices were quite eye-watering. So I went for the more man on the street menu, but it was really nice. Breakfast this morning, absolutely fantastic. No complaints there. Other than there was a load of blokes in cycling lycra at breakfast this morning, which that's the last thing you want to see at 7:30. Anyway, I think I know why that was the case. As I was walking out of Saltburn, there was a few signs saying expect delays, there's some cycling event going on today. So yeah, it wasn't as weird as I thought it was. Anyway, I hope that helps, particularly for my friends, those that only come onto these videos to see the unofficial TripAdvisor review, just to help provide inspiration for future nights away. You're welcome. So I'm just passing through Skinning Grove there. Bit of a steep climb back up onto the coastal path from here though. See, there's even hills on the coast. So I'm feeling a little bit flat today. I've barely wanted to get the camera out and do any filming. I mean, the weather's lovely, the coastal path's looking fantastic. I can only put it down to the fact that my daughter Lily's a little bit under the weather at the moment. And obviously, as any parent knows, when your children aren't feeling great, you'd rather be at home. So I think it must be that. Obviously, I'm speaking to her every day, and hopefully if she's feeling better Friday, she's due to come and meet me in Filey, and we're going to have a couple of days on the coast before heading back home on the Sunday. So I know she watches all my videos under duress. I don't think they're the highlight of her evening, but yeah, she knows how much I love her, and I hope you're feeling a bit better soon. That's a house with a view. So one thing I've noticed after 4 days of walking this trail is just how quiet the paths have been. You know, I've probably seen a handful of people across all 4 days walking the actual paths. Obviously, you know, you come off the paths and into the seaside villages, and you know, obviously you come into contact with lots of people there, but you know, one of the things that appeals to me about these trails is solitude. I didn't expect anything like the Pennine Way. Obviously, I went sometimes the entire day without seeing anybody on some of those days on the Pennine Way. But if I'm honest, when I think about trails that I'd like to do in the future, some that appeal to me in terms of the actual trail, such as the West Highland Way and the Coast to Coast, I'm massively put off by the popularity of them. I mean, every outdoors YouTuber has done the West Highland Way this year, and you know, it looks a beautiful trail, but you know, I like to meet people along the way, but yeah, I like solitude more. I sound really antisocial, don't I? I am quite a sociable person, honestly, but one of my friends used to call me the antisocial hiker, and I think he was probably spot on. So I'm just passed through Bowlby, about a mile away from Staithes, which is just down there. So Staithes, I think, will be my first rest break. I think I might treat myself to a pot of tea and a slice of cake. Sounds good. Staithes always makes me think of Ali G, but that's Staines, isn't it? Not Staithes. Right, so we've left Staithes behind. I forgot what a beautiful little place that is. I remember in 2020 I didn't stop because the place was absolutely heaving. Now, I can't remember if it was a weekend that I was walking through. But anyway, it's fairly quiet today, so I decided to stop at Dottie's Tea Room. What a quaint little place that is. Had the most delightful chocolate brownie. I think though I was probably bad for business because I used it as an opportunity to take the shoes and socks off. So I was the only person sat outside, and the weather was nice. So I can only conclude that my feet stink. Oh well, onwards. I think another probably 10 or 11 miles to go today, but the going's good. The weather's lovely. The paths are quite remote still, so all's good with the world. So I'm just past the halfway point in today's walk. It's amazing what a little rest stop does, because I was getting close to Staithes, my feet were really tired and aching. But quick 20-minute stop, cup of tea, slice of cake, rest the feet, and they do feel revitalised again. Well, they do for now anyway. So I think the next place I'll pass through is Runswick Bay. I do remember that was one of my favourite bits of the 2020 walk, because you kind of walk across the beach and then climb up, back up between the cliff faces. Might stop again in Runswick Bay for a little bit more food. I bought quite a lot of food with me, but obviously you do pass quite a few places that have far more tempting treats on offer than some of the boring stuff that I've got in my rucksack. So I'm just walking along the beach in Runswick Bay. A very steep climb back up onto the cliff tops in a short while. This was another place from the 2020 adventure that I just remember it was absolutely heaving. It was a gorgeous, warm, sunny day the day I walked across here. Plenty of people enjoying the weather on the beach. Yeah, very few people on the beach today. I think the support crew are out to greet me here. So we've left Runswick Bay behind now. That was by far and away the sharpest and steepest climb back up onto the cliff top so far. It is a reasonable challenge, this coastal path. I think we all associate coastal walking with a nice leisurely meander, which obviously for some of the way it is, but you know, so far today there have been a few nice sharp changes in elevation. The first proper cow-filled encounter of the Cleveland Way. Thankfully the farmers just fed them, so they've all headed off in the opposite direction to me. So I timed my walk through that bit of farmland quite well. Just as I was making my way through the gate, all the cows had started to move back over to the path. They never used to bother me, cows. I don't know if others think the same. In recent times, they seem far more sketchy than they ever used to. I don't know what the farmers are feeding them, but they like to see a walker in the field and, you know, come charging over to you. And you know, I know people say that they're curious, but when you've got about 50 tonne of beef coming towards you, you won't want it sitting on your lap. Is that our first view of Whitby? Question mark. So we've had on and off drizzle ever since I left Runswick Bay. Not that I mind, because it's quite muggy today, so it's quite refreshing. I'm not putting the waterproofs on because it'll be too warm. I am getting ready for a stop and a little bit of food though. All I've eaten today since breakfast is that chocolate brownie and staves, mainly because the breakfast was massive and I've not felt like eating, but you know, you've got to keep putting fuel in the body. I've just been waiting to try and find a bench so I can actually sit and eat there. I've passed hundreds of benches today. Now I need one. Nothing. So just sit in this cornfield by the look of it. The trail needs to provide. The trail has provided, if you can see, probably not, a brick wall to sit on. I think I'm sat in an ant's nest, but I think it's the best I can hope for. Right, thanks to the trail god for providing a wall to sit on there. Turns out it was just a few ants, not an ant's nest. Right, I've taken a bit of food on board, changed my socks, so I'm all ready and rearing to go for the last 4 miles into Whitby. And the rain stopped too. Who knows, we might see a little bit of sun like we did as we went into Saltburn yesterday. Typical. That was only a quarter of a mile from where I stopped. Oh well. That looks steep. Glad there's handrails. That was steep. Thankfully the trail god provided handrails all the way down. I mean, slippy wet rocks, what could possibly go wrong there? So that steep descent and this walk along the black gravel path is one of the things that I do remember from 2020. The reason I remember it is I think this is where I played Song of the Day. Long-time viewers of the channel, can you remember Song of the Day? Unfortunately, I can't reprise it on this Cleveland Way walk. I think YouTube decided that they don't like Song of the Day. I don't know what the problem is. You think these artists would be really pleased with all the exposure they get from a channel as massive as mine. I don't know if you can see, but there's some folk out there in canoes. No idea where they've canoed from. I hope it wasn't Saltburn. So I can just see Whitby coming into view. It was very clear 2 minutes ago. You can see the Abbey on the headland over there. It's not clear now, so I'm guessing it's chucking it down in Whitby. So we've made it into Sand's End. I think it's mostly road walking now, up to Whitby from what I remember. Oh, I'm almost there now. I forgot how much I hated that walk from Sand's End to Whitby. Just like 2 miles of road walking. Rock hard concrete is not what you want when you've covered 18 miles. I remember back in 2020, I think that was the bit that just finished me off. I think my shin splints were aggravated beyond all belief. I can feel a bit of a niggle in my left shin now, but hopefully it's just fatigue after a long day. Right, I've made it. So after I last spoke to you, the rain started coming down quite heavily, so yeah, I just made my way over to my accommodation for this evening. Right, so I think in total today I've done about just under 21 miles. Obviously that included a short bit of walking off trail to the accommodation. Right, we're in Whitby, so that means fish and chips. Hopefully it'll stop raining soon. So I'm going to get out of these wet clothes, get a few stretches done, just rest up for a few minutes, get changed, and then I'm going to go over to my favourite chip shop in Whitby, Trenchers. I've deliberately not had fish and chips so far this week because Whitby is the home of fish and chips. Certainly in my humble opinion it is. Okay, quick charity donation update. I think I'm only about £100 off the target we've set. And I notice a few people who watch the videos have donated, so you're absolute legends. Massive thanks from me, and no doubt the charity will be really grateful too. So there's still time. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description for anyone else who wants to make a donation going forward. Right, that's me done for today. Until tomorrow, bye for now.